Hey guys, Zeromaster here. Join me again.
Is Wizwar 100.
And today we're going to do a vlog review on The Fellowship of the Ring, the extended edition.
Or specifically what we think about it, because we're still in the whole The Hobbit mood.
So when we were discussing we're gonna go see The Hobbit, and then afterwards let's watch Fellowship of the Ring extended.
The entire trilogy of it.
So I hope we get through the whole trilogy. We might not, depending on what. But yeah. So just a backstory. Like we said in the other one, I hadn't watched this. This is the only Lord of the Rings movie I had seen till The Hobbit, and I hadn't watched it till... last time I watched it was a couple years ago, so I had little recollection of it.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
So,
I saw it with my dad. I only remember it so little. It was kind of like in and out, in and out. Mm-hmm. The game pretty much filled in for me, so that's how I picked up. So we kind of went into it semi-new, and does it still... By now, this movie's 10 years old. Literally, it's 10 years old now. Might as well do a retrospective.
Yeah, so... first of all, what were your initial thoughts
on the Lord of the Rings
when going into this movie?
You see, that's... Oh, you mean now, not back then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was excited because The Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Ring and the Lord of the Rings trilogy is going to tell us what happens later on after The Hobbit, and it does. It's like I'm really happy with it. Peter Jackson really stuck to the book well enough, but also making it different.
I know a lot of people complain that he left certain things out, but I mean,
but it's a movie.
I'm this movie's already 3 hours. If he made it longer, just imagine how long the movie.
And people would complain about how long it is.
Yeah,
and,
so
that they're including too much stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, you should just forget that. We'll figure it out somehow."
Yeah. So, as for me, I wasn't completely interested in Lord of the Rings. I wanted to see it because it looked like a really good trilogy, but I didn't know any of the backstory. I knew it inspired some of the games I played, like D&D and a lot of the medieval stuff. So I was interested to see where it is because it kind of shows off the roots. Like the concepts of how, because the guys who made D&D read the Lord of the Rings books before they made D&D, and that's how they got their inspiration to make the game. So, and I'm big into D&D, so this is something I had to see. And
I wanted to play D&D.
We should sometime.
Yeah,
it'd be fun. But you need a group for it, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah,
just 2 people. But yeah, I like this movie too. I mean, it's again 3 hours is long for a movie, but it's kind of like a journey, so you want to see.
Yeah, this is like the setup, or this is the setup for it because it sets up the ring, the groups, the characters, and then the next movie that just builds onto them.
So I guess we should talk about the movie. First of all, the first thing, we noticed a bunch of things after seeing The Hobbit that sort of went into this from The Hobbit.
Well, in a sense, yes, but this came before The Hobbit, so it could be vice versa. They took it from that and just
in timeline though, in the timeline, The Hobbit's before this.
Yeah.
So we were noticing things they mentioned that.
It was a real nice treat. That was there, and there was and the part with the trolls, because in The Hobbit, there were 3 trolls that got tricked by Bilbo, and Gandalf came and turned them to stone. And in Fellowship, they go past the place. They're not oh, it's the trolls that. I think no. Sam did say, "Oh, look, it's the trolls that Bilbo took out once." So
it feels like even though there was other than video quality, it feels like the 10 years in between doing those movies, it feels like it hasn't even passed. Of course things are different, actors are different and stuff, but
Bilbo, we got a little thrown back when he got the ring, as in this one over The Hobbit.
I think it was more supposed to be a flashback to
it is
a recollection, because when you think about something, you don't think about the way you look then.
You think about that person. So it's true, but still, we're seeing this, so it kind of throws us off just a bit, but not enough to we suspended our disbelief.
It was interesting after watching The Hobbit and going into this to see the feel of how the ring has changed Bilbo.
Oh yeah, because he's so innocent in The Hobbit, and now he's all crazed.
Yeah, he's starting to go the way of Gollum.
Yeah.
That's why he has to get the ring taken away from him.
And it extended his life, and the hobbits around were pissed off because they were like, "You're supposed to live only to 50 years old. Why are you living this long?" Oh well, still congratulations. And Gollum is just... It's amazing how long that bastard survives.
Because you got to think, this is 60 years.
In The Hobbit, it was 60 years before Fellowship, and even way before that.
They're like... all the stuff where the ring was originally forged and stuff, that's like 2,500 years in the past. So...
Yeah, that's
from the time of this movie. So it's ridiculous, like, how far the ring has gone, and, like, how long, like, how old actually is Gollum? He's probably, like, really crazy old.
Over 100 something.
He's got to
like
be over
200.
He's got to be over, like, because they, there's a part where he found, they said in this movie, he found it, and for 500 years it drove him insane. So he's got to be, like, 600, 700 years old.
He's 500, and he's still... Well, the ring probably kept him youthful. Wait, no. Because when Bilbo, like, when he didn't have the ring anymore, we saw him get old at Rivendell. Oh, by the way, the stuff in The Hobbit, we made mistakes. It was Saruman that was the wizard, not Sauron. Not Sauron. Sauron was
so close, so...
and I haven't watched it in that long time, so I mixed up. And it's Rivendell, not Riverdale or Rivendell, but it's...
Yeah, like, just comparing, like, speaking of him, like... The look that he looked in The Hobbit and the look that how he looked in this, you can tell that they did a really, really good job trying to make the ages correct. Because his beard had like a little patch of white, the rest was all like dark gray.
Yeah, to show the age pass, which was...
Yeah. And he also had more wrinkles in this movie than he did in the other one, I noticed, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you get older, you get wrinkles, so...
Yep, they definitely had some forethought.
Gandalf kind of looked the same.
Yeah, but even in The Hobbit, he was like, compared to that, the elf lady, who was also in this, but who was also in that one. She looks the same, except in The Hobbit, she was kind of...
she's supposed to be an elf priestess, or...
That was immortal.
Wizard or something, yeah. Like, she's one of the high wizards.
Yep.
We still don't know one of them. We know 4 of them so far.
Saruman, Gandalf, her...
The Brown Wizard, and there's one more that we don't know about yet. So, I'm sure we'll find out.
Or maybe it is, but, like, we completely missed out on it.
We could have. It was interesting in watching this movie after just watching The Hobbit, because you see the differences in how things were done.
This is like an epilogue.
Yeah, it's like... Because, again, this movie was released 10 years ago in theaters, so...
Which is 2002.
Yeah, when you look at... And when I looked at the visuals in this, you can tell what's changed, obviously, because new movies are shot in HD, they have better software...
And better quality, the images are sharper.
Yeah,
the image, it still looks good, except it's, like, a little dull.
Like, at the first, like... It gets better as it progresses, I think.
Yeah,
I think it might also be a problem with the DVD conversion for disc 1. Yeah, this movie's on 2 discs because it's 3 hours long. Because disc 2 looks a lot better, but I think that's just because the coloring of the later scenes. Yeah. Like when they're in the Shire, it's like I want to put it in Vegas and color correct.
Yeah, because in The Hobbit it's really bright green and it like looks really lifelike.
Yeah. But that's just the type of cameras they're using at the time. Because HD they just started using digital HD when this movie was being filmed, like, and because Lucasfilm had been using digital ones, and Peter Jackson is a big George Lucas fan, so he'd use the same things for it. So digital HD cameras were just brand new for film, so they were just ushering this. So the color quality thing it's hard for us to
criticize.
It's hard for us to criticize.
At the time, and it still looks good. It's just if they color corrected, it would look good.
Yeah. Also, this is the DVD version, so I haven't seen the Blu-ray version, and this is the older release of the DVD. So
also, that thing we were predicting, like after The Hobbit, they're gonna re-release the trilogy again.
Yeah, because apparently it's gonna be a trilogy, a Hobbit trilogy. So, which I hope there's enough story for them to do that.
Yeah, because I'm just a little concerned about part 2 because they're probably. They might expand on some stuff in the book, so... Oh, wait, that's actually a good point, because in the game, it doesn't say everything, it doesn't explore everything, so I probably must have...
it might skip over details, basically.
And stuff that you wouldn't put in the game, so I must have misjudged it. Yeah, well, let's see.
But yeah, it's interesting, like, seeing how the characters have progressed, and how they did such a good job in The Hobbit to make them look younger than they're supposed to be in this movie. Like, it feels like a lot of care and time went into The Hobbit. and it makes this movie a little more enjoyable because you start seeing things. So, if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, I say start with The Hobbit, especially since it's the new movie.
Yeah, it's a great way to introduce, and plus, it's the same universe but another adventure.
But yeah, this is an amazing movie, and the extended edition adds 30 minutes, so it's about three something hours.
What did they add?
I read the book. The little this thing comes with a little booklet, and so they added an extra 30 minutes in from this thing. Yeah, this part's just the movie. Here's the special features. So yeah, there's 4 discs for each film. So it says in the first page there that they added about 30 minutes in worth of footage. So yeah, this is the older box set from a couple years ago. There's a new one there's a budget one that's like $20. You get the original 3 movies, and then there's the extended edition on Blu-ray and DVD. So I don't know how the Blu-ray looks, but it probably looks better than this.
Yeah, and this apparently, from what I'm reading, they included more detail. Like there was stuff they explored. I don't quite remember what wasn't in the film already. So
yeah.
More character development, more humor, more story, more of J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay, so I said it right because I thought I was saying the person who made Harry Potter, J.R. something. Rowling. Was it?
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, yeah.
J.K.
Okay. Joker.
But yeah, just speaking about this movie, even watching it now, 10 years later,
it stood the stand of time.
It still stands the test of time, and it's not bound to the time it was made. Like the thing is, when this movie was made, the CG shots they have, they don't look bad. Like you can tell they're different because it's been 10 years, but
yeah,
I mean
it blends in well.
Yeah, like I said with the CG, it kind of you can tell there's a difference, but it's
blends in.
It blends in really well. Like at the time this movie came out, they were doing the best CG they could possibly do, and now because they know more about it, they can save money on making it, but it still looks good in both movies.
Like when they got attacked in Moria by the orc and the Balrog, it looked like it was in the scene. It I kind of forgot it was CG.
Yeah,
so.
and like these movies are framed well so that it's you suspend your disbelief for it.
You get invested,
which is nice. Also, like we're sure they're gonna re-release these movies in theaters in 3D because, like we were looking at the shots. I'm like, this would look awesome in 3D.
Yeah.
Like this would look good. Like this movie was kind of framed that it could work in 3D just because of the way you do those shots. Those like
it sets itself up for 3D and.
So I see this again in the theaters in 3D.
Probably. Yeah, it would probably enrich it. It'll enhance it, but it won't make it when you enhance it, it'll make it better. But I'm saying it'll put you more into it because during The Hobbit, when I took it off to watch, I'm still invested. But when I put it on, it's there's just it actually adds something. It isn't just there for a gimmick, but you don't need it.
This movie probably, I think, has more instances where the 3D would actually help.
Let's see. A way I would put this, it's like the 3D is like the icing on the cake. You can still eat the cake, but the icing just makes it just a bit better.
The only problem, I think, with the 3D in The Hobbit is sometimes you can tell, when you take your glasses off, you can tell where it is, and it's hard to focus on it because it's supposed to be 3D. Yeah. Sometimes it's so wide,
just so because something's really close.
It's like when you slide up the slider on the 3DS, how much it switches the picture's depth. So that's sort of what it's like. So you could watch the 3D movie without the glasses on, but it's a lot harder to watch without them on. So, but this would probably benefit better from the 3D than The Hobbit did, because, like I said, the 3D didn't really matter that much until way later in the movie.
Yeah, and also
when they start throwing shit at your face.
And also in the Hobbit, there was this behind the scenes thing. They made the movie from ground up to be 3D, so that's why the 3D works so smoothly. So that's the thing. They didn't put it in afterwards. It was from the beginning. They had the red blue cameras to take the scene. So they had it in mind. It wasn't thrown in, which I appreciated.
Yeah. But even so, even though this isn't shot in 3D, it would work. So, I didn't see The Phantom Menace in 3D, which I'm upset about because I wanted to see it, but I never got a chance.
I didn't bother.
I'm not gonna see the second one in 3D. Fuck that movie. I'll see the third one, the third Star Wars in 3D.
Yeah, the third one was like the more like better out of the out of three.
And then I have to see Empire in 3D because it's my favorite one. But anyways, like if they re-release these in 3D, which I'm assuming they will because money, I'd go see it in the theaters again.
It might be a trap, but I'm willing to fall into it because it's a good trap.
Yeah, because when the movie's good enough to warrant you going back to watch it, like growing up, I had the Star Wars movies on VHS, but in 1997 when they re-released them in theaters, the special editions, it was a treat to go see them, and they showed all 3 movies in one day.
Oh.
Which was that was the only time I spent like an entire day at a movie theater.
Man, that must have been like 6 hours.
Like in 1997, so I would have been 9 when they re-released those. So
I saw
that's quite an event for a kid. But
I saw the Star Wars trilogy on VHS, and like I loved it.
Yeah, like
the original, not the special edition.
Like my dad had taped the movies off of cable. Like he had all 3 movies, so I had grown up with them. But when they re-released them in theaters, I still wanted to go see them in the theaters because to get that experience of seeing Star Wars in the theaters. I don't remember it so much because I was young, but
remember enjoying it.
It was an experience. It was definitely an enjoyable experience, and that's why I want to go with if they get these back, because this movie is so good that I would see it again in 3D, just even if it's a gimmick.
Yeah. Plus, it's just an excuse to go watch it again. Oh, it's in 3D. Is that your excuse? Yes.
Yes.
And plus, it's Lord of the freaking Ring.
Yeah. But I know we haven't been talking much about the actual movie, but it's just sort of that's how we what I wanted to do with this series is how it feels after seeing The Hobbit, because these movies, again, they're 10 years old, but do they still hold up? Yeah, they hold up.
Yeah, they hold up.
And they did it, and does everything check with The Hobbit? Pretty much.
Yeah, I liked it. But if I had to say, this might be, like, out of the trilogy, the weaker one. Not like, it's bad, like the other one would probably be better, because this is setting the thing up, so this might be a little slow, although it does pick up. So
this is sort of the start of the journey, so it takes a long, I think it takes, like, they don't actually, like, they start the journey, but they don't actually get to the Fellowship until the end of the first disc.
Yeah.
Which means that there's an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half. Yeah, you have to, like, go through an hour and a half.
So it's like, finally getting to the Fellowship. Like, I didn't feel like that, like, because, like, I just enjoyed watching the whole movie, but...
yeah, like, we were picking up, like, information, like, with all the setups and stuff.
I'm glad they included stuff like that, because I got really invested in it and interested. So, do we have anything else to say about this movie?
Other than, I enjoyed it now that I actually got to watch it, because, like I said, I only got glimpses of it when my dad was watching it. I have the VHS at home, I just never bothered to watch it myself until, like, you were like, let's go watch The Hobbit. I'm like, oh, hey, maybe we can watch the trilogy at your house. And you're like, yeah, sure. And I was like,
yeah,
cool.
I got the extended edition, so... I actually, the plastic wrap's still on Two Towers, so I'm going to have to take that off.
So does that mean you've never seen Two Towers in the Return of the King?
This and Hobbit are the only ones I've seen.
Oh, then you're probably going to be excited about this, because Two Towers and the Return of the King are pretty good.
Alright, well, thanks for listening to this vlog, guys.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and if you want to get the movies, that you can get for a cheap price, you can get the theatrical cuts for like $20 in a set. So if you watch The Hobbit and you are like, oh, I've never seen these ones, then go to like HMV or wherever, and $20 and you get 3 movies. They're still long ass movies. The only thing you're missing is extra details from the extended editions. And if you're a movie buff, the Blu-ray extended editions are available now.
Yeah, plus they'll like be in higher quality too. So it's not too important, because the murky quality of it kind of added to it.
It's kind of like
works in its favor.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was Fellowship of the Ring. Hopefully we'll see you next time with Two Towers.
Stay tuned.